Before she turned to go, Merrin asked the Merrow her name. "Call me Cara," she said. "Another girl once called me that, years ago. She said it means friend."
For years, GameStop has been one of the leading retailers in the video game industry, but now they're taking a crack at publishing with their new division, Game Trust. One of their first projects is Song of the Deep. Developed by Insomniac Games, the same team behind Ratchet & Clank and Sunset Overdrive, Song of the Deep merges Metroidvania with an aquatic theme. So, is it worth it? Let's find out. It's strange how misdirected Song of the Deep's 6-hour campaign is. It features an original location, unique mechanics, and a healthy balance between exploration and combat. But still, it never properly blends together, often segmenting these concepts so severely that they become instantly repetitive. Frankly, it doesn't build upon its robust foundation, creating a flat, sterile experience well before the halfway point. This applies to all aspects of Song of the Deep, including its underwhelming storybook narrative. Our young protagonist Merrin is enjoying a happy but modest life with her fisherman father, until one fateful night when he mysteriously doesn't return home. Distressed and determined, Merrin quickly cobbles together a humble submarine and plunges into the haunting ocean to rescue her missing dad. From there, the story is largely unnecessary. Merrin makes superficial friends with a couple of cute aquatic creatures while learning of the once great cities that thrived in the deep below. Beyond Merrin's emotional state and initial motivation, she has no personality of her own, and instead serves as an agreeable bore. Surrounded by a supporting cast of equally uninteresting characters, the cutscenes feel numb to the gameplay events preceding them. This is made alarmingly clear by the single voice actor narrating every story beat. While her performance is more than suitable, she really isn't given much to work with. And sadly, neither is the player. Song of the Deep is a 2D exploration-based action game, but what separates it from its contemporaries is the ability to drift and float in any direction throughout the game's sizable map. Unfortunately, the freedom of movement is undermined by the limited stage design of narrow hallways and boxed-in arenas. Each location is built around Merrin's ever-growing set of abilities, such as exiting the sub, carefully transporting explosives, and avoiding dangerous laser grids. But these mechanics are so deeply segmented, they become almost meaningless as the game progresses. Players will simply learn enough to pass a particular scenario before these skills are nearly abandoned. The most egregious examples are the needlessly cumbersome puzzle and escape sections. In one event, Merrin must reflect 3 colored lasers to their corresponding grid. Not all that challenging, but the game's zoomed-in perspective purposely hides useful information, making this simple test excruciatingly tedious. But by far the worst moments of Song of the Deep feature the red squids. These nimble creatures can instantly destroy Merrin's sub, sending players back to their latest checkpoint. The game will recommend using the propeller boost to avoid their deadly clutch and head to safety, but this rarely works. In fact, one specific 30-second event took me nearly 30 minutes to complete. Early on, I had memorized almost every moment and obstacle, but my success still felt completely random. Lastly, there's combat, which is featured in nearly every challenge. Merrin's trusty hook, sonar blast, and projectiles defend her from the violent creatures of the ocean. In small bursts, it can be quite fun navigating away from danger to deliver a properly timed counterattack. But things take a turn during the prolonged mandatory battles, where players must defeat waves of enemies before progressing. Though upgrades can be purchased by collecting hidden treasures, the game's handful of enemies, half of which are jellyfish, quickly lose their appeal, and before long, these areas become frustratingly cluttered. So, is it worth it? No. Song of the Deep makes a great first impression, with a charming presentation, various challenges, and distinct movement. But without a compelling combination of these elements, every success feels less rewarding and failures less impactful. In the end, it comes down to pacing. Song of the Deep feels so focused on the current moment that gameplay transitions feel jarring and unrelated. For all of its efforts to diversify this brief adventure, Song of the Deep is surprisingly shallow. Song of the Deep is currently available on the PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 for $15. If you've had a chance to play it, let me know what you thought, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan on picking it up. My name is Colin Tanner, and I'll see you in the next video.